Welcome to CrashMagic. In this video, we have another card trick that I hope you're really going to enjoy. We'll start with the performance, showing how the card trick can be presented and how it might look to an audience, and then immediately after, if you liked it and want to learn it, there'll be a tutorial that goes through exactly how it works. In the world of quantum physics, there's a strange and beautiful phenomenon called quantum entanglement. Two particles, no matter how far apart they are, can become linked, and when that happens, whatever happens to one instantly affects the other. It's as if they are a single entity split across space and time that are ultimately drawn to each other. I want to try and replicate that with something much simpler, these cards. If you could begin by shuffling these cards as much as you like and in any way you like. And then if you could split the cards randomly into two piles. Choose either of the piles for yourself and I'll take the other pile. Now we're each going to select any card to be our particle. I'm going to choose nice easy one to remember. I'll go for this one. And if you could do exactly the same. Now if you were here you could pick any card you liked. As you want, we'll just select one at random, maybe this one. So this is my particle. Let me take another quick look. Yeah, and this is your particle. I won't look, but if you could please remember this card. You got it? Now, if we both place them back on top of the piles, but you can choose which card goes on which pile. Let's say you choose to place your card here. So I'll put mine here. But whichever pile you were chosen, our two particles are now separated by an incredible distance. But in the quantum realm, distance is just an illusion. With just a cut and some deals of the cards, we can make a subtle manipulation of probability. And with that, we will attempt to entangle our two particles. What we're doing is forcing a connection and a bond that defies logic and reality. The two particles will now begin to feel an irresistible pull towards each other. And they'll find the shortest path, navigating the labyrinth of all the other particles, to finally be united. Okay, my particle was the Ace of Hearts. What was yours? Was it the Ten of Spades? Or maybe the Five of Spades? Was it the Jack of Clubs? Or the Four of Clubs? Or the Four of Diamonds? Or the King of Clubs? Or the Six of Hearts? Maybe the Ten of Clubs? Or the Eight of Clubs? Four of Spades? Eight of Spades? Three of Spades, or maybe the Three of Hearts. Any of these your cards? Ah, the Ace of Hearts, that was my card. So is there any chance that our particles have been fused together and your particle will be the very next card we turn over? Could it have possibly been the Seven of Hearts? So that was the trick, and I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, and you want to learn it, this is the tutorial. Now, quantum entanglement is of course incredibly difficult to understand and complicated, but that couldn't be any more different to this card trick, which is about as easy as it gets. We only need 27 cards for this trick, but there's no setup needed, so any 27 cards will do. Because there's no setup, any spectators are able to shuffle the cards to begin, and then a spectator can split the pack into two piles, and it doesn't matter how they split as long as there's plenty of cards in each pile. Your spectator can then choose a pile for themselves and one for you, and again this is a free choice. Now you're both going to select a card at the same time. Your spectator can choose any of the cards that they like, look at it and remember it, and then place it down to the side. and at the same time you're going to do the same. Select any card and place it down. However, the difference is you're actually going to remember the bottom card of your pile. So in this case, the 3 of spades. So you can just pick any card, pretend to remember it and place it down on the table. But actually you don't care what that card is, you just remember the bottom card, so the 3 of spades in this case. So at this point now you've both seemingly chosen a card. The spectator has chosen this one, 5 of spades in this case. We've supposedly chosen this card, but actually we're not remembering that, we're remembering this bottom card here, the 3 of spades. So this is quite a nice time delay here, that we've got the 2 chosen cards separate from the rest of the cards here on show. And now the spectator is going to have another choice. They can place their card back on top of either of the piles, absolutely free choice, and the other card will go on top of the other pile. And now again a free choice, they can choose which pile goes on top of the other. So they can choose either way, and it's nice at this point that they can see quite clearly that the top 2 cards of those piles are separated, they're apart from each other. But of course, as we know, our card isn't one of the top cards. Theirs is the 5 of spades there, but actually we're remembering the bottom card here, the 3 of spades. So they can put the 2 piles together whichever way they want, because however they're going to put it, either our 2 cards are immediately going to be together, or if they put them this way, then one card's going to be on the top and the other card's going to be on the bottom. So once we cut the cards, they're going to be together anyway. So they can choose to place either pile on either pile, and then we're going to cut the cards. Now, depending on how the piles were stacked, we don't want to cut right in the middle and split those 2 cards again. So if you just split either slightly near the top or the bottom, then that's fine. It doesn't actually matter, but it just makes it a bit easier. And really, the trick is done now. Our 2 cards are together in the middle of the pile already, and you could, if you wanted, immediately reveal that. But instead of doing that, we're going to carry on and create a little bit more misdirection by dealing the cards down into 3 piles. So 27 cards, 3 piles, there's going to be 9 cards in each pile. You can have a spectator do this if you like, but it's really important, of course, they deal the cards correctly. And then you pick the piles up in the same order that you dealt them and deal again. So we're going to do this sequence of dealing the cards into 3 piles 3 times. And the thing is, if you've got 27 cards and you do this process of dealing the cards down into 3 piles 3 times, that effectively keeps or puts the pack back in the exact same order that it already was in. So we know our 2 cards were already together. So all this is doing is creating some misdirection, but actually we're just retaining the exact order that the cards were already in. Okay, so now that's done, we can collect the cards back up. And now we're going to, at this point, reveal what our card was, or what supposedly our card was, so 3 of spades in our case. And we're going to go through asking the spectator, are any of these cards theirs? Now, because we're dealing them in this order and how we've stacked the piles, our card is always going to be first. So their card is never going to come up first, as is always going to be the first one to be seen. So if we deal through, eventually we find our card. And then, of course, say, wouldn't it be amazing if the very next card was their card? And of course it will be, the 5 of spades. So that's the trick then. 27 cards, no setup needed, so the spectators can shuffle to their heart's content. As you can see, a lot of spectator interaction as well. And because it is so incredibly easy to perform and there's no sleight of hand needed, you can really concentrate on the presentation that you want to give. So that was Quantum Entanglement, and I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give the video a like. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and see you soon.